So in today's video guys, I'm going to be speaking about 5 reasons you should move to Vietnam. Now, this is what I did and I lived here for 3 months. So I'm basically going to be going through the 5 reasons I think that you should move here and what I experienced while living in Vietnam. Now I'm going to start off with the best thing about Vietnam, and that is the weather. The best thing Vietnam has going for it is its amazing weather, and it's just so consistent. I lived there in the months between July, August and September, and let me tell you, for those 3 months, I can almost tell you with 95% of those days were 34 degrees and complete blue skies. Perfect weather all day as well. The sun will come up around 6:30 and go down around 7ish as well. So it's not the longest day, but all day it's pretty much the most sunny. The only times we got a bit of clouds is when there was typhoons coming through. There was 2 typhoons that came through. Luckily they missed Da Nang, but it made it cloudy for about half a week. When it rains in Vietnam, it'll basically rain for like no more than half an hour and then it will pass straight away. So I've never lived in a place that has more consistent weather. Obviously I've lived in Australia and the UK. UK obviously doesn't have good weather, but Australia does have good weather, but it doesn't have the consistency of Vietnam. It's sometimes in summer it's cloudy, then sometimes it's sunny. Like, you're never going to have that complete sunny weather, and also the degrees will go up and down, whereas Vietnam, straight 34 degrees all the time. The next best thing Vietnam has going for it is obviously the price, and this is the main reason most people move to Vietnam, is the living expenses in Vietnam are just, I think it won the most affordable country in the world for a 4th year in a row this year. And while sometimes on YouTube videos it can be a little bit fantasized, I can agree that it is extremely affordable, and it's probably the most affordable place in the world that's actually livable. If you want to know more about this and living expenses, I made a full video on living expenses. If you want to click here and you can see that full video where I go into much more detail. Another reason why you should move to Vietnam is the people. It's refreshing to see such friendly people everywhere. And also, even though Vietnam is not the most touristy place, they actually accept tourists quite well. I lived in Da Nang, so this is from my experience living in Da Nang, but the people are so friendly and they do really like their tourists and are super, super friendly. Even if they can't speak English, they'll still smile and say things to you. The next point that also comes with this is Vietnam's carefree lifestyle. So a lot different to Western culture. Vietnam is such a carefree country, and their culture also shows that they really don't care too much about having expensive things and always trying to get more and better and bigger. They are more about just enjoying life and things like that. And then also, especially as a Westerner, when you've got your kind of Western money you're bringing in, you can get away with quite a lot of things. You can get out of fines, because this comes into a negative, but they will fine you sometimes because you're a tourist, even if locals are doing the same thing. For example, not wearing a helmet. Lots and lots of locals won't wear helmets, but the second you don't, you will get fined. But you can get away with a lot of things, and everyone there is quite carefree, so you'll most of the time be alright and you'll be able to get away with most things. When I'm in Vietnam as well, I don't feel judged ever. That's one thing in Western culture or in Australia. You can feel the judging in the air, you can see when people are judging you. Whereas in Vietnam, everyone kind of just goes around doing their own thing and no one's really judging you. So that's what I found while I was there. Now my last point kind of comes into price again, but this is a thing that is not going to happen in most countries, and it's the fact that eating out in Vietnam is better than eating in almost every way. First of all, you're going to be getting better food. Like, you're almost always going to be getting better food when you eat out than if you eat in, because for some reason shopping there, it's hard to get great ingredients, whereas when you're eating out, they're gonna give you really good food and you're gonna be eating very well. And second of all, it is almost cheaper to eat out than it is to eat in. So what I mean by this is, it's almost cheaper to go out and eat in a restaurant in Vietnam than it is to buy your shopping and cook your meal at home. Most countries, even if it's cheap or not, it's still usually going to be cheaper to buy your groceries. and it still is in Vietnam, but it's pretty much almost cheaper to eat out, so you may as well just go out. So that's what we did most of the time when living there. We always went out to eat. So that's my last reason why you should move to Vietnam. These are 5 reasons you should move to Vietnam, depending on when you're watching this. But next week I'll be uploading what 5 reasons you shouldn't move to Vietnam. But if it's already out, you can click here to see that video. I would recommend watching both videos before you move to Vietnam, as I lived there for 3 months and I did get around in the country quite a lot, tried lots of things, and I'd say that I have quite a good experience of living there, and I have many tips to give you guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed that video. If you have any questions about this video or about anything to do with Vietnam, please comment below and I'll answer all your questions, and I'll see you guys again next Monday.